Welcome back to My Conscious Dad right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Today we are talking about 15 things men love in women more than just good looks. If you missed any of it, I'll just go through 1 through 5 real quick. Number 1 is being a good listener. 2 is being spontaneous. 3 is being a good driver. 4 is being accomplished and fulfilled, and 5 is being able to enjoy her food. Number 6, we haven't talked about yet, is being a good cook. It says our grandmas used to say that the only way to a man's heart is through his stomach. That's a very, very, very popular saying, one in Hispanic culture, and I'm sure in pretty much every culture, Italian too. I think that's true. What about you?
What's funny is as you were sharing and you had your head down, I'm nodding my head and look over at Andrew, and Andrew and me just had that guy look. We just looked at each other like, yeah, we're nodding our head going, that's a great quality to have. I don't know, something special about being cared for or nurtured for. And I don't know, I feel like in my DNA, maybe in past lives or in other cultures and communities or tribes or villages, maybe it was kind of like an honor to create a meal for somebody. And I haven't read anything about it being like that, but it just feels like when someone creates a meal for you and it's a tasty meal, it's almost like, man, like you created this for me. It feels, to be able to go above and beyond to create something, special and it tastes great is even a bonus. But I think you cooking for somebody and then cooking good is a symbol for, you're that important to me. Like, pleasing you or bringing joy to you is, but then again, other people don't enjoy food. So I'm sure there's a whole list of people. It's like, I don't really care because I'm not a food person. So
what about the women who can't cook but are trying, or they try to learn? Do you have to be a good cook, or is it just the cooking part?
Absolutely not. This is a good cook. For me, I narrowed it down to just cooking, period, because it's more about the statement you're making, even if you're not good. I wouldn't put the word, I don't like using good or bad because it's a judgment word. A lot of times, I just leave it open to cooking if you're a cook. And, I'd have to be honest, and maybe I'm throwing my wife under the bus here. She's not a great cook.
God.
She's a decent cook, but I'm not excited about, like, what I love about her is it's to me, the cooking is so narrow-minded. It's very at the very end of the list, but so it's not a big deal for me. But for some people it is. Some people, that's how they rate somebody, and apparently on this list, that's what most men are really excited about, and what they love about women is being a great cook. And
in those cultures, because I'm thinking of the Hispanic culture, do you think that this is a big deal because the moms are this way? So the mom, every day you come home from school, mom has a snack for you, and then she has dinner a couple hours later, and she has dinner for her husband when he comes home. Is it like this because that's what we learned, or?
It's a great question. I think yes, and it's also a kind of a statement or a symbol for I'm taking care of you. If you walked in the door and I had lunch, I'm talking about me and you and our relationship, right? Because sometimes you'll get a break, or you go home for lunch, or you forgot something, you ran home, and you walked in and go, Jess, come here, and you're rolling your eyes going, what? Because you think I'm going to ask you for something, and you come into the kitchen, and I've made you a sandwich. I can already see your face. You would light up. Like, for me, it's a statement that I care about you. It's one way that we can let people know that you matter to me, and it's a symbol of I want to take care of you. So to me, that's how I see underneath it. It's more of a deeper level than that.
And I just want to clarify, Mom, you are a decent cook, and he still loves you. Just in case. But I
said she was a decent cook.
I know, I'm agreeing, but I'm letting you know.
It's challenging for me because I can cook good. I can cook good. Not great, but I can cook good. If we battled it, I would probably cook better than her.
But I see what I'm trying to say is
And you're making it worse for me.
No, I'm saying I'm trying to clarify. I see what you mean in the sense that it's not about how good the food is. It's about the service and what you're doing for somebody that you love. I'm just going to go ahead and move on. Number 7 is being real. It says, although fake girls with their fake this and fake that and everything turn a lot of heads and probably get a lot of free drinks, most men have agreed that they could never choose a girl like that for for something more than just a casual romance?
So what I'm thinking about when you say that you want somebody to be real or you love that about someone, what I see is authenticity. And in today's world, to be authentic, you really have to put some mindfulness into looking at yourself and figuring out some of the games that you play, to get attention or to be liked by others. And you really have to have your A game, to be able to show up authentic in everything you do. And I think that what men are saying is, hey, we want a woman that can just come in and be who she is, which means you have to discover who that is. You have to figure out who that is, because it's been a long time since you were 2 years old. When you were 2 years old, you were the most authentic, because you weren't trying to be somebody in the world. You weren't trying to pretend to be someone so you could be protected. But as you got to age 5 and age 7, go to school and get bullied or picked on, you all of a sudden start to create this character or this persona to protect you, so that you don't have to feel the pain or the disappointment. And so it's really refreshing to find, a 23, a 28, a 32-year-old woman that all of a sudden, has done a little bit of work on herself, and she's surrendered more of the ego and all the games, and it's just real. It's like, to find someone authentic like that is just like rare. It's rare. But if you find them, you're lucky. You should hold on to them, because that's what most men are really looking for, beyond the looks, like this article says. Because if looks are number one, then you go after number one, you go all the way down the line of what's next in different categories, right?
Yeah, and this is again one of the ones that I thought was funny, just because it says one of the next lines says, "What a coincidence, we feel the same about fake guys." And the fake guys with the fake watches, buying a bunch of drinks for them and their friends and girls, and driving a nice car, all those things that make them quote unquote fake, those are the kind of guys that want these real girls that are, authentic. So, it goes both ways.
Absolutely. The list definitely goes both ways. What's funny was, not too long ago, I was having a conversation with my clients, and we were talking about, looks, right? For a guy, looks is boom. We look at the person that we're attracted to, and then we decide 0 to 10. So let's say we have an 8, and there's something about this 8 that we're like, man, they're not a 10, but they're an 8. And so, but there's something magical and magnetic about them. Well, what we started to discuss with my client is, that's level 1, right? That's category 1 is the looks. That's the first thing, and then you've got to go beyond that. And beyond that, there's different categories. So if you're an 8, and then in the next category, you're an 8, and an 8, and an 8, and an 8, and an 8. So you got 12 8s stacked up. Those 8s make you a 10. Because there's some 10s that are super beautiful. Bombs, right? Bombshell models. And then all of a sudden, you go down the line, and you hit 6s, 4s, 3s, 1s, 2s, 4s, 5s, 3s, 2s, 4s. And then if you lump that all up, it only comes out to a 4. So you got to be looking at the whole package. You can't just be looking at the looks. And so I thought that was interesting that I just had that conversation with actually 2 of my clients this week, and I wanted to talk about that, break that down.
Okay.
I love that you are.
I'm laughing because you said you called someone a bomb. And I was thinking, she's the bomb? You said she was the bomb?
So it was a movie that you were laughing about.
Yeah, and you. So number 8, moving on, is being ready to compromise. Every man feels better when he knows his lady is ready to negotiate and work hard to find a solution that will be acceptable for both sides.
I think the ability to compromise is a powerful gift that you would have to develop within yourself. But it makes a statement to other people that you being willing to compromise means that you're not as stubborn as you might appear to be. So being able to compromise, that's people that you're not immovable. You're not going to sit there and have a full-on argument, that you want to go, okay, I can see how you see it like that, and then you're able to move on, rather than it's my way or the highway. You're not going to get very far in relationships if you're really stubborn and you got your feet stuck in the mud like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell on myself, and everybody listening, you should tell on yourself too, because I have a really hard time compromising or negotiating in general, or not a hard time. It's challenging for me to negotiate, even with outside of relationships and in my family or anything, because I want what I want, and I can't see why I would want anything else unless you present a really good case.
Yeah.
So, I guess I never realized until now, as you were explaining it, that compromise is one. Even on this list, I wouldn't put compromise on my list of 15 things I want in a man. I want him to say okay all the time or say yes all the time to the things that I want. So,
but what if that is an illusion? What if that's something that in your mind you've made up this belief that the guy that I want to marry, the guy I want to fall in love with, he's just going to say yes to me all the time? How much substance is that? At what point does that get boring at a certain point where you're just like, I'm not attracted to the yes guy anymore because it's not fulfilling. I want somebody that has, it's kind of like you can't have both. You got to have one or the other. And so wouldn't you want to be with a man or be attracted to a man that, can also stand up for himself and say, no, I don't think this is, and then you part ways, and then you come back and you try to find the middle ground. You compromise to the middle ground rather than saying yes all the time.
I think making a list in general is setting yourself up to fail, or it's not as effective as, I guess, number 2, being spontaneous and going with the flow. Setting up a list is already setting a cap and putting it in a box. So yes, I don't want a yes man, but I also don't want to specify exactly what I want, or I'm going to get stuck with exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, and there's something in the middle. And it's funny because you were outing yourself. I'll out myself too. In my early years, I was, and there's still a part of me that's still controlling and still want it my way. And so I still on a daily basis have to negotiate with my mind or check into myself and go, all right, Alex, how unrealistic is it for you to have it your way, the way that you want it to look? So a lot of times, and what I've developed is this ability to say, all right, I still want it my way, but I'm willing to have it look similar to the way they see it and the way I see it. So I'm now willing to negotiate a hybrid. Does that make sense? So I'm not willing to negotiate and just give up all the way unless you, like you said, unless you really convince me that the road I'm going or the path I'm going isn't beneficial. Then I'm just going to surrender it and then jump onto what you got. But there's still a part of me that as my type A personality, they say that the song that represents us is I Want to Have It My Way by Frank Sinatra. That's just the controlling style of personality that both you and I have, and it's something we got to work on all the time, because if we want to be successful in our relationships, we're going to have to figure out how to master the art of compromising.
So number 9 is caring. He really wants to know that you care for him, but be careful, because repeating "I love you" until he can't take it anymore isn't a good way to let him know how you feel. So just off of those words, I'm assuming they mean taking action, showing that you care by doing.
I think that caring is shows up in a million different ways, and it's up to you to decide how to reinvent yourself so you can learn how to express that you care more than just the same 4 or 5 ways. It really requires for you to figure out how to evolve as a human being in the ability to express, to have self-expression, and find different creative ways to show that you care. It could be you can buy a $2 little teddy bear and get a picture of you, both of you, and you put it in between their arms, and you put it in the driver's seat when they get in the car in the morning, or little things, or the texts, or anything that's gonna
That was really specific. Go on.
And so you can find little ways to reinvent yourself to show that you do care. And like we said earlier, one of the ways to show that you care is to make a meal for someone, or to make a certain gesture, or do something, or maybe even do something for somebody that's part of their routine to let them know that they care. So I think it just calls for you to be really creative and dig down deeper.
Yeah, I like that you said surprises, just because, maybe it's just for me, but I think surprises, when I don't expect something, to me it seems like, oh wow, that person really cares. Or doing something for me when I don't expect it, and I know that you were listening, so you know what my favorite drink is when I go to this restaurant, or what, so you get those things. And I don't know, I guess when you were saying that, I was imagining a movie I saw where a guy goes to all the different restaurants around town and gets one thing from that the girl likes from all the places, and they have this big buffet, and she's like, oh wow, so and
apparently for women, it's the little things, right? Apparently, from what I've heard, is pay attention to the little things. Those little things are what lets me know that you were listening, and they symbolize that you do care. Well, apparently for guys too, that they want a woman that's attentive and can find those little things and be creative to let them know that they care.
So for guys, is it also the little things, or is it they want a big, extravagant thing?
Again, it's a great question, but again, it depends on how conscious you are. If you're not very conscious, you're looking for the big stuff. You're looking for the things, the stuff. If you're a little bit more evolved and higher level of consciousness, it's just the little small stuff that makes the difference for us. So again, it depends on what kind of a guy you're dating.
Hey, you know what? Stay tuned. We still have to get through 10 through 15. Stay tuned for more of My Conscious Dad right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Hey, welcome back to My Conscious Dad right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Today, we are talking about 15 things men love about women more than good looks. We left off on number 9, so I'm going to go ahead and go to number 10. We only have a couple minutes, so we're going to kind of rush through them. And these seem to me to be like the good ones. So number 10 is funny. A sense of humor is also one of the things men like in women, especially in women they are planning to settle down with.
Yeah, I think that being funny just symbolizes that you're not so serious and that you could be playful and light. And because if you're too serious, you're probably not going to last very long. So you got to develop some kind of sense of humor, even if it's corny.
This is one again that is just it's a total eye roll, because I know some really unfunny men who are like super picky, and they're just like, no, she has to be funny. And I'm like, but
actually because the ones that aren't funny, they're attracted to the funny ones. It's like the opposites attract, so that's what they're looking for.
Yeah, but us funny ones want other funny ones.
There you go. Nice.
Number 11 is taking care of herself, and one of the comments says, can you believe that this is on the top 15 things guys like in women? And it says, I mean, come on, can it be? It says, well, hold on to your chairs now, ladies, because the experts say the answer is yes. Taking care of yourself shows him you'll take good care of him as well.
It's funny because here, a lot of times we complain that you're taking too much time in front of the mirror, but yet we're saying we want you to take care of yourself. So which one is it? I think there's a happy medium. You just got to be able to love yourself enough and find yourself worthy enough. And I think that self-love will radiate out into your choices to take care of yourself, and it'll shine through.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's hard it's challenging because you always see on movies, girls getting all ready and the guys are complaining. But then when they stop getting all ready and getting dressed up, they're like, "Oh, you don't get dressed up for me anymore."
What I love about this one is Alicia Keys. I don't know if you know, lately she hasn't been putting up makeup, and it just says a lot about her inner beauty. She just said, I'm just going to go natural, and boom, this is me. And I'm sure there's a little bit of negotiation in there, a little half and half, but I like that, and I think that more men like that too.
Yeah, she just happens to be very lucky and actually pretty.
Blessed.
Moving on to number 12 is being strong. One of the best things men like in women, a quality like no other, a virtue that no women of today could live without: strength.
I think yeah, strength is it. It's like they want to know that you're a pillar of strength, because men apparently have to be that strong all the time and carry the weight of the world, and every once in a while we have bad days. Once in a while we need to turn to somebody, and if you can all of a sudden in that moment, whether you're like that all the time or not, if in that moment you can rise to that level, that's something that we love.
I have something to say, but you know what? We are going to run out of time. So let me just move on to number 13, natural when it counts. Just because we like makeup doesn't mean that we have to wear it all the time. A guy wants a girl that is going to be natural when it counts, such as going to the beach. So I think what that's kind of saying is guys want someone who's low maintenance when they want them to be, and then high maintenance when they're going out to dinner.
Yeah. Number 14, isn't scared to get down and dirty. What does that mean for you?
Again, going with the flow. You know, if they want to jump off a cliff into the ocean, I got to do it.
Yeah, like just take a little risk. Except don't run across the street. Don't run across the street following your boyfriend to be risky and get hit by a car.
Right? I don't know.
Number 15, last one, last but not least, motherly instinct. They want to be taken care of, nurtured, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a mom thing. I think moms baby their sons so much that now we have to take care of it when they hand them off.
That sounds like you might need some therapy on that one. You can actually look at that from an empowering way and say, all right, this is what they intuitively need from me. I think one of the special things about women is that you have this motherly instinct about you that you're nurturing and you're compassionate and there's a tenderness about you that heals the world. And I think all men need that. And I think they're all yearning for that. That should actually be number one. I don't know why that's 15, but I would put that as one.
Before we go, Alex, what's the one thing you like the most about girls?
What kind of question is that?
That's our whole topic.
Let me see this.
Yeah, he's going to look it up right now.
He doesn't know. He's 10.
He's going to search it on Google. While we're doing that, we'd love to thank you for being here.
We'll see you next week, every Friday, 12 to 1, right here on your hometown station, AM 1220, KHTS.